Hello, welcome everybody, welcome. So we are really close to an 1.0 release of Stonehearth. This game is coming out of early access very soon. And today we're going to be starting a brand new world, so keep your name requests coming for halflings that you want to get in the game. So today we will be playing in the Arctic biome, and we'll also be playing as the new guys. The Northern Alliance, which is a recently added new kingdom for the game, which lives up far in the north, in the cold north, with a lot of snow and a lot of winter. I feel like we got a pretty good setup here. What I'd like to have is to have a pretty good body for everyone. That means they move around and have a little bit more health, so a little bit more quicker movement. So here we have food for days, hunting party, merchant caravan, and money solves all problems. The one that I kind of tend to go for most of the time is the merchant caravan if I do play the Northern Alliance, because I really like that they do start out with an herbalist staff, get one archer bow and one trappist knife. It can be pretty good sometimes to go with hunting party. You can have like two early on soldiers, and the thing with Northern Alliance is that a lot of food with them actually do get through hunting. So this could definitely make sense, but it's also pretty nice to have a trapper and definitely a herbalist in the beginning. And you still get a few potatoes, so this is probably my favorite to go one. So let's go for Merchant Caravan. So another new thing also for this release is that we do have seasons, so the weather will actually depend on which season you're playing in, and it also affects how a crop grows. So winter, they will grow very slow, and in Arctic biome extremely slow, pretty much nothing they will grow. So the area I'm looking for is kind of like a water that goes into the land. I actually think this place looks pretty cool. It could be that it's a little bit too far away, maybe from the mountains. I kind of like this little land going out here. I think that looks pretty cool. We can even live on that, but we should probably cover a little bit of land so we have a little bit of mountains around, because we do want to have a bit of minerals around. So I think this would be a pretty good spot for us. So here we go, alright guys. We're in the cold north, and keep in mind, in the Arctic biome, it's almost winter all year round. 7 months a year, it's actually winter. So that is pretty insane. So this was the area I was thinking out that we can maybe live in and build a lot around this water, maybe. Could be pretty cool. And we should have some mountains up here. So that is nice. But this is kind of where we want to settle down then. So let's get started down here. Some little halflings, how are we doing? Doing good. Okay, so I think we start with harvesting down a couple of trees just to clear out the area a little bit, and also put a few of our halflings to work. We want to have a trapper going early on, and we also want to have an archer going early on. And Kendra Starvammer is going to be our first archer. He is courageous. He had a really good body, but not a high spirit. So it's pretty cool with Northern Alliance because you actually go around and you hunt animals, which we're going to do now. And we'll also start with a mason instead of a carpenter. So let's go and hunt some animals. It should be possible to attack this little critter here. Go. So we get a little bit of meat this way, and comes some wild prey sometimes for us to be hunting, some wild game for us. So I really like this part. I feel like it's fun to have a different way of gathering food, so that's cool. Now we need to get a mason that will be crafting most of our things. So we're looking into someone that has a pretty good mind. We will be using the mason quite a lot as our kind of like our main crafter here. So it's leaning towards Levi or Elisaria. So Levi, I would like to keep him for like a farmer later on. It's very far away, I would say though. So okay, let's go with Elisaria. Be my mason. We do need a trapper. I'm not sure, like green thumb, that should be like for plants and stuff, but maybe they do like to trap things also. But I think that the Magnus could be our trapper. A figure appear. A woman stands at the edge of camp. She wears the travel-worn blues from the Scouted Library. Rania, she says, pointing at herself. Her voice is strangled as if to explain. She pulls the collar away from her throat, revealing a mess of old scars. She gestures at her knife. A scout, then she taps the star-shaped brooch of her cloak. Ovalin's library. Ah, she speaks as much with her hands as and eyes as her voice. I'm glad you have come to study and settle. Now that I know you are here, I will send the tales of your learnings to the scholars at home. She steps over the banner and touches its blank center. First though, you must choose your symbol. What future did you foresee when you began the voyage? Her voice takes on the cadence of reciting words spoken of 1,000 times before. Valen created our alliance to share in plenty. Adapt in hardship and seek the horizon. The Northern Alliance will become one with the cycles and stars of Harv. She tilts her head in inquiry. Which of our philosophies do your outposts most aspire to embody? We shall choose. So we can have like the standard one. We got Banner of Vitality, Banner of Strength, Banner of Cunning. So what I feel like, since you are playing with the Northern Alliance and you are focusing a lot with stone, I feel like Banner of Strength is pretty good, because that means you get more ore, you get more stone, you get more clay, and you don't mind cramped environments. So that's what we're gonna go with. So our name is gonna be Vindheim. So Vint as in the winter in Swedish. Vindheim, welcome to our town, guys. Outpost established. So that's nice. Get a very early on start going on. Time to celebrate a little bit before we get going and doing some serious work around town. Okay, so let's set up a Trappist field. I will set it pretty far away. And let's see here. We can do a couple of different ones. So we're gonna do 10 by 10, and then we're gonna do like 4 different ones. And nowadays you can actually, as you saw there, you can actually trap some bugs. So there's not only your normal critters, but also some bugs. So once we level up, we will be able to capture a few more like different kinds. Here we go. I think that should be enough for one of our trappers to handle. Oh, we got a gift. Thank you, Runny Whispers. And from her gesture, it is clear she means for your hospitality and presence. She places a small pouch beside the banner. On its side is the emblem of the nearest large town, some days distant. Our towns are stars in the constellation of our people, she says. For you, from them, that one day you will join those ranks. So we get a little bit of a bread. Both cornbread, peasant, and roast sausage. Delicious. Nice. Ronnie is now standing by the edge of the fire. She's written the town name and brief account of its inhabitants in the white flesh of a birch bark shaving. Methodically, she commits it to the flames, which burn paler for a moment. In time, she intones, by Valen's wisdom and under the watchful eyes of the stars above, be committed to records of the library. Those that matter will hear she bows, and makes to fade back into the edge of the wilderness. Farewell, Jesters, I will return for your stories. Okay, good. Enough with the reading, right? So we're gonna settle down here, and we do have a couple of different houses made for the Northern Alliance. So we do have a dining hall to start out with. And I can see they're quite different. I actually made a few houses on my own to kind of like work together with these and make my very own. You can download them in the Steam Workshop. Some of them hadn't been added yet, like the barn here. And I'm only using 3 different mods, and they only affect like the UI in the game and the farming. That's the only thing to do. So all these templates are just vanilla items, nothing else. So I have a couple of different houses I could be showing you guys, so you can see a few of them that I made that we might be using for this town. So first we've got the carpenter's house, which is something that we will be making a lot further into the game. But I like that we have a lot of stuff going on here. Then we do have the Northern Barn, as you saw, for storing some items. And then we also do have the Northern Dining Hall. This is a quite big house with a lot of dining inside, a lot of tables. Really cool house. It will take a long time to build it. And also the Northern House Small. I got a couple of different ones, and also this one. And you can already download most of them. All of them haven't been added yet. This one has not been added. I will be adding more of those later on to fill up with more templates for this town. So this is kind of the area I want to start in, and let's see here. Let's get some mason work going on first. And since we're starting out with Mason, we would actually like getting a cook spoon very, very early on. I'm just going to queue up one of each tool. We can actually make the stone practice sword later as well. Only trouble is if you don't have like winter moss around. I really hope we do. It's a little bit trouble if you don't, because then you are very low on finding fibers. We actually do have some here, so that is really awesome. That's good. We do have to find a little bit of stone. Ooh, look at this. I really like this also. This is ruins of a previous civilization. This is something that was added recently with having some landmarks in the world. So that is something I really, really like. I think it's really cool to find some of these cool things around in the terrain. Okay, so maybe we have to go up to the mountain and do a little bit of mining. We could mine right into this, but we should be getting a little bit more stone for mining the real mountain up here. This should be the mountain. It's kind of hard to distinguish what's the mountain here. So this is the hills, and then we get a mountain up here. It should be at least. So we want to mine like a tunnel in here to start with. And we also want to mine this out a little bit. Get a few resources. So something like that should be pretty good in the beginning. And we maybe also, maybe, we'll be mining just a tiny bit here, because we might want to have like some early on place for, you know, having a place to live at in the beginning. Then we can do like some rooms here. Something like that, another room. And then we can drop some beds in this one later on. Because we're not going to have enough beds out here in the very, very beginning, that's for sure. Let's see if we have some more. I saw some more animals up here that we can be hunting. We do have a little bunny here. It's going to go into our bellies. Feed our people. Oh, nice. We got some more fibers here. Nice. It'll come very handy. I did play like this Northern Alliance one time, and that place didn't have any fiber at all. So I couldn't make any swords, so I had to get a carpenter. The carpenter is really far away, because if you want to get a carpenter with Northern Alliance, you first have to get a blacksmith level up really, really far, and then after that you can actually get a carpenter, and then you can make swords. So it's a very long way if you don't have fibers to do the sword with the mason instead. So let's start with making a couple of beds, just so we have enough for our houses. Should do good. For now at least. Maybe we can do it a little bit bigger actually. So now before release 1.0, it seems like they're mostly working on fixing a few bugs and so on, and until like the end of this year they're also going to be keeping to fix the bugs until like December or something. So I guess we should not expect to see too many like big things, but there are some community members and modders working on Project Ace, which is to improve this game later on and make an entire super big mod to like keep moving on after the development of these games comes to an end pretty much. So hopefully mods will keep this game alive for a very, very long time and improve it quite a lot. Not sure if we need that much wood really. And I do have some early on houses we can do, so we do have these ones. So northern tent house. And we probably use this one because this do have a stone door. Because we will be using, so I think we might do those just like the very on, you know, early on settlement, and then later on we might be going and actually destroying these. But for now I think that could be a pretty good house to have. Let's build this very first one. And I'm just gonna move this stockpile so we don't have that in a way. We're gonna drop it somewhere over here, and I think we can do like, probably do one here. We can have some like proper crates here later on, but for now I think we can do something like this. So for the moment, as you can see, net worth, we do not beat that. We already have way beyond the edibles, so we're doing good with that, but we do need a lot of work with getting out our net worth for this. So let's see if we can put like another of these like tent buildings. I really, really like this. This is inspired by some people on the Stonehearth discourse. That should be the place. And I just want to have like the fire in between our houses that we start with here. So we didn't beat it, we still need to like raise up our net worth. Have enough for that. So what do we need for these? I think there's quite a bit of wood for those. And we do have way too much wood, so we don't want to cut the wood for a while. See how they're doing, did they mine out anything? Okay, I haven't done much. We do have some gold here, that's going to be pretty handy later on if we're going to do some nice trading with that. It seems we did get a few seeds for replanting some winter moss. That's our source of fiber in the Northern Alliance Arctic biome. And I'm also going to plant these. It's not sure actually that these one will grow up now in the winter. I did try to plant these recently and they pretty much never grew up really. Not in the winter at least. Okay, so it looks like we have got our net worth up quite high. So that is really good. That should mean that we will be able to like beat the next daily goal. And move on to getting a few more halflings, and the early on halflings when you get them is so nice. And I think we might actually go ahead and suspend this one for now. Then we just unpause that later on. For now we could be mining a little bit down here. There's quite a long trip to go up there. And we will probably like, you know, be building some boats for this town. Look at that, we got some wild games and raccoons in here. But we will be making some boats, we will be making a dock. We need some ships for this, maybe some Viking ships. At least some kind of ships that would be awesome to have if we're gonna go and for a voyage and plunder and stuff. You can do it, Archer. You can figure it out soon. Soon Archer will figure out what to do. You can do it. You can do it. Okay, there we go. The arch is a little bit wonky, a little bit strange nowadays. Hopefully we will see a change for it and fix or something. Would be awesome, because they tend to go like that and they can't really decide, should I fire my arrow? Should I run back? What should I be doing really? But I like this early on with the tents. Let's see if we can actually get 2 more of them going. We're gonna have 4 of these. Just kind of surround the campfire. I think it's gonna look pretty good. There we go, and early on start with our little Northern Alliance. Hope you like these houses. I really like them. They're pretty easy and quick to build. There's very little resources, so they're very useful. Let's see if we can find some stone and train. We do have one here. It's a little bit faster if you have some of those stones and rocks around than going and mine down an entire mountain. We even do have these ones. We do have some potatoes there. That's really, really nice. Because getting vegetable in the Arctic biome, it's quite a tough job to get that. Let's move away maybe both our workers. We don't need to be building right now. We do need to do mining to get resources and do other things pretty much. And instead of start talking with each other, gotta do some other stuff, please, my people. Looks like our worker, Davina, is really, really hungry. We do have quite a few of meat over here, so we got to doodle some bug meat. So we can make into, I think, some kebab or something with the cook later. But for now, we do have an archer, we have a mason, we have a trapper, 2 workers. So for the moment, we don't really want to go and, you know, promote someone. We really want to try to keep some workers to get some other stuff down around town. Okay, let's see, we got a daily update. Awesome, we beat it. Liminar Latson joined. That's pretty cool. I think they had a lot of names before that felt like some Northern names, but it feels like almost none of these names feels like Northern. I think these names might be from the Kickstarter backers, because I think they added those recently to give those rewards out for having names in the game. So the only one that really looks a little bit northern to me is Magnus here. Magnus Crossia. But the surname do not sound northern at all. I think it's going pretty good here. We might be off to a pretty decent start. We got some tents going on here. We do need to gather a lot of stone. And now that we're getting more workers, we will probably, hopefully be able to do it. But I really like these new seasons for the game. I love the Northern Alliance. It's so fun to have another new kingdom to do some totally different kind of houses for that kingdom. So guys, if you have name requests, drop them in the comments and I will be taking the first request first to be added to the game. We will go for around 25 halflings, so thanks for watching today guys, hope you enjoyed. If you want to watch more, why don't you go ahead and leave a like on the video and subscribe for future episodes. So thanks for watching, have a good time and take care.